We attempted to negotiate, but Galactus... he asked too high a price.
What's happening, YouTube? It's not the Fantastic Four, it's the Dynamite Duo. We just got finished watching Fantastic Four. I'm Lamont. Y'all know who that is. It's my man T-Streams. How you feeling, bro?
What's happening, man? I'm doing good.
Marvel let us go and review Fantastic Four. And as we talk about this, don't forget me and T's making film. My man has got a brand new film studio for all of y'all in the Detroit area that's making film. We're going to talk about that after we review this. So Marvel, don't be trying to say I'm trying to add my own stuff into the mix, but I am. But we're going to do that in the end, okay, Marvel? So T-Streams, you a comic guy. You've watched Marvel movies for a hot minute. How do you think this Fantastic Four stacks up into rebuilding the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
You know what, man? Actually, I think they did a good job with this one.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I like this one better than the last one, for sure.
Okay. When you say the last one, are you talking about
the old one?
What was it? Was not Eternals, the one that just came out, Captain America fighting the Hulk.
No, I'm talking about the last Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. This is this is by far the best Fantastic Four out of all of them, because they actually let us see. By the way, this is a spoiler, so if you ain't seen it, it's a spoiler. It lasts about 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it's got 2 post-credit scenes, just in case I forget all that stuff. You heard it here. But for sure, we finally got to see the monster Galactus, an intergalactic god, a being so powerful you can't do nothing to him. And within all that, T-Streams, they put a family twist in the movie. Did you expect them to have the family twist in the movie?
No, I didn't. But it worked out pretty well. It worked out pretty well.
Because normally when they put babies and dogs and old people in movies, it tends to turn into like a prop. But in this film, Franklin Richards, the baby of Sue Storm, is actually used pretty well in the way that it's similar to the comics, but a little different from the comics. So did you ever realize that Franklin Richards was one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel comics?
No, I didn't. I just really learned that.
Do you like the way Marvel introduced that into this story? Because you got to think, the plot of this movie, Galactus wanted the baby.
Yeah, so that was actually an interesting twist to see that, because when I first saw that, you know, I was thinking, what's going on here? But the way it was stacked, it actually played out pretty well. So it didn't get too much into like lullabies or anything like that. It stayed true, and it actually worked out well. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree with him. It worked out well. And in case you didn't know, one of the major plots of this movie is that Galactus is coming to eat the world. He sends his herald, Shalabal, which is germane to the comics for those dudes that complain about feminine movements and shit like that. This happened in the comics. This woman used to be Silver Surfer's girlfriend in the comics. Mm-hmm. And then there is a version where she came and she became the herald. And they took this story, ladies and gentlemen, and had it wrapped around the fact that this baby has so much power. Galactus wants the baby to replace him and ease his hunger of eating worlds. There were some people that starred in this thing that y'all might remember. So the girl who is like on the highest highs in Hollywood right now, Natasha Lyonne, she stars in Poker Face, and some people might remember her from Orange is the New Black. She is going to be the girlfriend of Ben Grimm, ladies and gentlemen. So if you like Natasha Lyonne, she was in it. Vanessa Kirby, the girlfriend of James Gunn. Y'all seen her in Suicide Squad. She was in Shobbs and Haw, did a great job. How do you think she portrayed Sue Storm in this movie?
You know what? Out of all the characters, I think she was probably my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why would you say that?
Well, pretty much the way she had that motherly instinct, but she had to also deal with her abilities of not actually being normal, and so she went throughout the movie actually having to show dual sides of her nature and be able to exhibit that without being too far extreme on one side, and then as well as the other. And so and she had balls. So
yeah.
So
she was tough, and he hit on a good point. She was the glue that held the film together.
Yeah.
Of the four, she was literally the glue that held everybody together. When you had the men kind of bickering with each other, trying to figure out who's got the best idea to do things, she just stepped in and say, "Look, fellas, this is the way we handle it." And in the end, without spoiling too much, she stepped up to the plate when all the men were knocked out. And she basically took Galactus on by her damn self. And it was one of them situations where us black mamas know, for some way, when somebody is trying to take your money, your food, your man, or your child, they get these damn godlike powers and can do anything. Well, that's what Sue did in this movie when Galactus tried to get the baby at the very end. How did you feel about Pedro Pascal being Mr. Fantastic in this movie?
So my man's coming up for real.
Oh my God,
so,
he and everything.
And he's moving fast. That was actually a good casting.
Yep.
It was a nice, fun character.
Mm-hmm.
Well balanced, able to articulate his mindset and exhibit his powers.
Yeah.
As a kid, everybody liked the Stretch Man, and then just to see him, it was pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool. I think that he nailed that role.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah.
So typically when you think of him, you think of the zombie game, the
Game of Thrones.
No, he plays man,
he's in everything. He's in Game of Thrones. He's in Star Wars. He's in golly, the man is in everything right now.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, it's the video game.
He was in the video game too?
Yeah, well, he's playing the character from the video game in the I'm having a fog. I can't
it's all
think
good.
Of the name. But typically when you think of him, I revert back to that, that show, because I was a faithful watcher of that. But to see him, on this side, it was a nice, fun role, nice, fun character, and it was an interesting movie. So there was at no time that while watching it, I felt a dead spot. So the pacing was right on time throughout the whole film.
I disagree a little bit with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody know my barometer for a movie. I'm a 45-year-old man who has 2 kids, 5 years and under. So I do my scales on 0 to 10, 10 being the best, 0 being you're terrible. If I can stay awake at a matinee, the whole movie, you automatically get a 6. So this movie automatically get a 6 because I ain't fallen asleep not one time in this movie.
Okay.
But I did have a problem between like Act 2 and Act 3, because while the exposition was good, the dialogue with the character was good, the roller coaster got a little slow for me. It did. It got so they done introduced Galactus, they done introduced the Herald. Now we got to figure out what are we going to do to beat Galactus. That little section, while Galactus was making his way toward Earth, it got a little slow for me.
Yeah. So okay, so I understand. Okay, I can understand that. So I think they was able to maintain the pacing. One thing that kept running through my mind was that I initially thought that Galactus was too big of a threat for them personally.
Oh, I'm gonna touch on that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna touch on that. Well, since you done brought it, I'm gonna touch on it now. So this was gonna be some of the things I didn't like about the movie, and it's not a lot I didn't like. I do not like, and I just complained about this in the Superman review. I can't stand when they end these movies where the main villain, who's so super powerful, or he's equivalent power of the good guy, instead of killing him, they send him in a portal. They send him in a black hole. Well, folks, if you come in thinking that that's not going to happen in this movie, you are dead wrong. You're going to see another form of a black hole, another form of a quasar, another portal, because in all honesty, no one in the MCU, hardly, can beat Galactus, except for Franklin Richards, maybe somebody wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, Doctor Doom with the Infinity Gauntlet. But other than that, really nobody can beat Galactus. And I thought that they were going to use Galactus's power cosmic with his eye beams or something. They didn't really do that other than to show that he could find Franklin Richards. Because Galactus this dude is a dog, man. He's a cornerstone of the galaxy. And they portrayed him at times as a villain and an anti-villain because it's really not his goal to hurt people. He's just hungry. He just got to eat the energy from planets. And so did you like the design, the look, and the voice of Galactus in this movie?
Actually, I did.
Yeah.
I did. It did come off intimidating, which I think that's probably what they was aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
They got, they nailed the nice low to high shots.
Oh my God.
So they did well with him.
Yeah.
I missed who they actually said played that character, but that's one of them villains like, you really don't even want to mess with.
Like he's the kind of villain. I mean, like for people that don't know the comics but have gone to see these MCU movies, Galactus honestly is more powerful than Thanos, even with the gauntlet, or at the equivalent level. And I was wondering how were they going to play this, even though I already had an idea. I knew they weren't going to beat him.
No.
But I will admit this: the way that they got rid of him, I'm okay with it. I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. And I do like how Franklin Richards was scaling his body and opening up those things that are holding all his energy. So if you guys never seen that before, you're going to see Franklin Richards using his stretch. Not Franklin, I'm sorry. Mr. Fantastic using his powers to stretch to unlock these different coils on Galactus to leak out his power. That was interesting to see. I thought that was pretty good. How did you like the other Fantastic Four? I'm not familiar with their names and their work, but the guy playing Ben Grimm and the guy playing Johnny, how'd you like that?
I liked him. It wasn't very much that I really didn't like about the film overall or the characters or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I think they kept it safe. They played into, they played directly off into the family zone. So everything was nice, fun, cute, and straight to the point. So I think they had some interesting moments. I thought they was gonna really let him cut loose. But he didn't. But that's not to take anything away from him. The character still did a great job, had a fantastic contribution to the overall success of the film, and then had some pretty cool, funny moments as well.
Yeah, they did a good job of tying in comedy in this movie and keeping it a family dynamic. It's hard to do that. It's hard to make a movie feel like something is really on the line. So I saw Superman last week. Not one time in that movie, T, did I ever feel like Earth was threatened. Not really. This movie, I really felt like Earth was under assault because just the voice and the size and the way they kept playing with Galactus's eyes, man, this MF is a threat. Yeah. So when they talk about those jargony Hollywood terms like, are the stakes high? Yeah, you're damn right. Stakes was high in this MF because it was rough. And did you like the portrayal of the Silver Surfer? I mean, Shia LaBeouf's Silver Surfer.
I did. It took me a second to try to learn her angle, but then later it was later revealed. Mm-hmm. So now I understood her motivation. Right. But I also thought that they probably could have had an easier shot at getting rid of her, but it's a good thing that they did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just sort of let that go. Right. But it was interesting to see her because I haven't read any of the comics with her in it. Mm-hmm. And so just to see that whole race of being or whatever,
right,
doing her little thing, it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, she played her role, and for those that know the comics, you always know that usually whoever Galactus's heralds are, they wind up sacrificing themselves to save their planets. And some of these heralds aren't evil. He's had plenty of heralds, and most of the time they're not all evil. But what they're doing is trying to sacrifice their planet, sacrifice themselves to save their planet. But what they wind up doing is hurting everybody else's planet. And so usually heralds of Galactus always turn on him at some point in time when they feel like they've got him in a compromising position. Because you got to remember, Galactus is giving them this power that they got to fly through the universe and all that. This chick could go the speed of light. So that brings me to my one small gripe. When they tried to go through the wormhole to escape her, and I'm thinking to myself, you can't escape this bitch. She go the speed of light. How you try? And then secondly, they got rid of her by going really close to a neutron star that was basically about the supernova black hole, and they used the gravity of that star to suck her in. But somehow, some way, they didn't get sucked in. So, and I'm a nerd in that kind of stuff. Black holes, time dilations. Somehow or another, she got stuck in the time dilation, and they didn't.
Yeah.
That was my one little nerdy scientific gripe, that you got to be a real nerd to get in the weeds like that
to catch it.
Yeah.
So it do make you wonder, like, when you look back at it in hindsight, especially, makes you think like, all right, if she got caught, then they definitely should have
got caught. Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's comics.
You gotta use your imagination. You gotta use that's a nitpick. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the IMAX. I enjoyed the soundtrack. The way they would put the soundtrack in at different moments when it seemed like the world was about to end, or when it seems like when she was giving birth to the baby, the way they had the sound. You want to go see this somewhere that has a good IMAX theater, because the rumblings, the sound, Galactus's voice coming out of that box, man, it was a killer.
Yeah,
and
you thought Thanos had a nice look. They did good with it.
They did good. And did you like the outfits for the 60s type era? Do you think they nailed that too?
Yeah, and that was my first question to you when we was actually in there, because I immediately saw that. I'm like, okay, so this is not current time. This is back.
Right.
Okay, so before any of the modern day technology and stuff.
So they was on the cusp of all the good stuff. They had transporting devices. They had a thing in space that would take them through wormholes, get them to the speed of light almost. And for them to be in the 60s, they had a black publicist who was handling all their affairs with the media. So having said all that, T-Stream, scale of 1 to 10, what do you give this movie?
Scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8+.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, an 8+?
Yeah.
Did you see Superman?
I did.
And did you like this better or Superman?
I like this better.
Yeah, me too. What did you rank Superman?
I'd probably put Superman at a 6.
That's what I get. Folks, I don't lie. Y'all know my movie DNA. This movie definitely gets an 8.5 for me. It was a great movie. Wasn't perfect. Like I said, the pacing slowed down a little bit. I felt like they was going to lose a lot in this movie, which is something you want to have. I love the score. I love the casting. I felt the chemistry between all the cast. I don't have a lot to gripe about this movie. I just would have liked a little more, but that's not enough to gripe about. And overall, I thought it was good. Especially, there was a scene in the movie that T missed where they was all having like a little conference about what the Fantastic Four had went through and their journey in space. And they had all the nations there, and Liberia was missing. That's where Dr. Doom come from. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in one of those post credits, you're going to see what Dr. Doom wants. And I'm not going to tell you what he wants, but you will see him. It's 2 post credits. If T gives it an 8, I'm going to give it an 8.5, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely worth seeing. It's probably worth seeing twice. And I do agree with him. overall, this was a better movie than Superman. Way better than Superman.
Absolutely.
So T-Streams, tell the people about your studio you building where we're going to get fantastic comments coming out of this studio in Detroit, Michigan, real that one day soon. For all you people that watch that are inspiring actors, composers of music, writers. If you want to get up with someone who can help you on that journey that has a film studio, this is the guy. So tell them a little bit about your studio and what you build.
Yeah, man. So I'm currently in the process of putting together Streams Vision Films production studio. This right here, we have 5,000 square feet on the inside and about 20,000 square feet as a back lot. And
wow.
So, yeah.
Damn.
So, but the thing here is,
wow,
the Tubi movie maker is not really using backlots, but it's there. Okay. And so what we're doing is we're doing custom build sets for filmmakers here in the city. We're also equipping it with a music studio, 2 editing rooms. Okay. And so it's right now we're trying to make it a hub so that you can come in, you can shoot your film, you can lay the sound, you can edit it, and you can walk out with a full project. And so that's the goal here.
Wow. So his link will be in the video description. Please contact this man. We've worked on projects together. We've got a couple of irons in the fire coming out real soon that are going to be having festival runs in this coming year. So just stay tuned. Give us a call. Let us know what you need. That's going to do it for this video. Marvel, I told you I won't keep it short. That was my personal commercial, Marvel. And if you want me to shut up about that, a little bit more ends of work, okay, then I won't be throwing in my own commercial. Until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm Lamont. That's T-Streams. And we out, y'all.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.